Hello and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. We made it through July. I believe this for the UK was the hottest July. David, is that right? Was it the hottest July on record?
I believe so.
He also believes so. We've made it. The day I'm filming this is, it's still at the end of July, and it is raining outside, and it is, oh, Minnie's running around and I've got plants here, I'm worried she's gonna hit them. And it is bliss. I woke up this morning and I could hear rain. Minnie, what are you being so naughty for? And I could hear rain on my window. We've been out, we went out for breakfast and we've just gone and done big shop, popped at my mum and dad's on the way home because I needed some desiccated coconut and they didn't have any in any of the shops. And it's just been raining the whole time and I'm so happy. And my dad said that soon the grass will be green again because we've just been living in sort of like yellow, brown grassland with no grass in some places. So yeah, it's not gonna stay like this sadly, but yeah, it's been very, very nice. So anyway, blah, 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 weather chat, completely British thing to do. I am talking today about my favourite things from the month of July. I will start, as I always do, with my favourite book from the month of July. And for those who have watched my July wrap-up, this will be no surprise, but it was The Paying Guests by Sarah Waters. This is my second Sarah Waters I've read, and my favourite. I've also read Tipping the Velvet. This is a love story between a woman called Frances. Her and her mother are That's Minnie running up and down the hallway. Her and her mother are renting out some rooms in their house, and Frances falls in love with the couple who they rent to, the Mrs. Barber, Lillian from the couple. The first half is sort of like an urgent love story between these two, stolen moments and wonderful, and then there's a crime that happens sort of halfway through the book, and the last half is Lillian and Frances just dealing with this crime that's taken place and coming to terms with it. And my God, I just loved it. It was just it was a historical romp that I didn't even know I needed. I'd always sort of said to myself, I'm not a big historical fiction fan, and I know this is only set in 1922, so it's not like loads and loads in the history, but it is almost 100 years ago. And oh, I just adored it. I love the characters. I think she's just like, after reading this, I was like, she's probably one of my favourite authors. I've read 2 books by hers, and she's probably one of my favourite authors. And something that I also said in my wrap up, that I will also say here, is that a lot of people have said, like, not to put this book down or anything, but this is their least favourite Sarah Waters book. So to know that I've got so much more good stuff to come, and I'm only on my second book, is just fantastic news. So yes, my favourite book for the month was The Paying Guest by Sarah Waters. One of my other favourite things from this month is David and I have moved house. We've moved house and we are now in a lovely new flat. We're really, really happy here. David actually, we had friends round for the first time yesterday, and when David got back, he'd been out in the morning getting some bits for lunch and things like that, and I'd been sort of potting around, and when he got back he said, I really love living here. And I do, like, we've always been really, really happy in whatever flats we've been in, but this one feels more our own than ever, and I don't really know why. I don't know if it's because we've got a lot of new stuff. So when we were in the old place, we've lived in 3 different places together. A lot of the stuff was like I bought my sofa with me, and or we inherited something, but we've bought a lot of this stuff ourselves, and we've sort of like fashioned the flat how we might want it, and it just feels lovely. There's a few bonus things to this flat which we're really loving. Number one is that we've got an office space which is just bliss. It means that instead of editing my video sort of slumped on the sofa or on the bed, I'm actually sat in a chair. I'm slumped in the chair, but I'm sat in the chair in front of a window, just having a lovely time. We've got a really nice pin board, and it's just a really nice place to sort of sit and do a bit of work, which I know I'm going to continue to love. And another thing is that we've got a bit of outside space. So even though we're in a flat, we do have a bit of communal outside space, which sounds, imagine this being one of your favourites, but there's a washing line there, and I haven't been able to dry my washing outside since David and I have lived together, because we've always lived in flats. First of all, we did have a balcony in our old flat, but you couldn't really dry washing out there. Nothing really happened to it, and it was on quite a main road as well, so it was always a bit sort of grotty, the air. But yes, it's really, really nice to have a place where we can dry washing. And yeah, there's just some really, really nice, like, we're just really, really loving living here, and yeah, I'm just really, really pleased with how everything's sort of come together, and I'm just looking around now thinking, oh, I love that sofa, oh, I love that dinosaur lamp, and I love my new bookshelves and everything. So that's very, very, very much one of my favourites, and also one of David's favourites as well. TV that we've been watching, David and I, before we moved here, we'd been living with friends and family, and before that we'd had our internet disconnected about 3 or 4 weeks before we actually moved out. So we've been without Netflix and YouTube and things online for a really, really long time. So when we got Netflix back, we were so happy. We have started watching and have almost finished the 2nd series, and the 3rd series starts in September, The Good Place, which is a fantastic, we really, really love it, series. It's got Kirsten Bell, Ted Danson, Jamila Jamil, and they are, it starts with Kristen Bell waking up in what she believes is the good place. So they don't necessarily stick by strict sort of heaven and hell rules, but there's a good place and there's a bad place, and Kristen Bell wakes up and she is told that she's in the good place, but when she is, the more she looks around and the more she learns about herself, she realizes that they've got the wrong person, that another person by her name should be in the good place and she should be in the bad place, and that's the 1st series. And then there's a massive twist at the end of the 1st series, which is what leads it into the 2nd series. And it's just, I mean, they're really, really fun and funny episodes, and it's just really bright, and it's just filmed wonderfully. It's really, really funny. Janet, who is a sort of, she's not a robot, but she's like a sort of, a bit like Siri, I guess, but with a body, and she's my favourite character. I absolutely love her, and yeah, we're just really, really excited. I'm really pleased we've watched it now, and we've watched the 1st and 2nd series, and then we haven't got that long to wait till the 3rd series, because I just think it's fantastic, and we've both been really, really enjoying that. So we might finish that off tonight. I think we've got about 3 episodes left of the 2nd series, so we might finish that tonight. So very, very much enjoying The Good Place. Also, another thing, something I have here to show you is plants. Now, as I have said before, I've always been terrible at keeping plants alive. In the last place, when David and I were in our old flat, we had, just by the window, we had some succulents. They're still going strong. I won't show you those again, but they're still going strong. Although one of them, my mum put in a bag with loads of other stuff and it knocked all the leaves off. And I keep thinking, oh, maybe I'll bring it back to life. It doesn't look like it's going to come back to life, but I'm still hanging on. I'm still holding out. But I've got 2 recent acquisitions in terms of plants and pots. I've been sort of collecting pots without having plants to go in them, and then finding plants to go in them. So this first pot is from TK Maxx. The deal is with TK Maxx, guys, is that if you find a pot that you like, buy it, because it won't be there when you get back. I think this was £3 and it's lovely. I really like it's got black, pink, yellow, and then like a sort of dark, lighter, like a grey, a lighter black, aka a grey. And then the plant that I've got in it is this plant from Ikea. I think this was only £3 as well, and it's just like green pink, but underneath the leaves are pink, which I just think goes very, very nice with this colour pink on the pot. So that goes in my office. It's on the windowsill next to me. And then this pot, which has been, this pot I've been trying to get my hands on. It is from Sainsbury's. Obviously I love Sainsbury's, and I'd seen it on their Instagram. I think they've got a Sainsbury's Home Instagram, and I'd seen it on the Instagram, and I really, really loved it. And it was £14, and I was a bit like, oh, come on, guys, that's a bit much for a pot. And I kept my eye on it. Oh, God, it's much heavier than I thought. I kept my eye on it until it went down in the sale, and I managed to get it for £10.50, which is still quite excessive. But it's this yellow pot on these little, so this comes out, I'm not going to do it because there's an actual plant in here. This yellow pot with these little legs, which is lovely. I've also seen a white one of these, not in Sainsbury's, but there's quite a few of these around, and it's just lovely. It sits next to our TV. And then when we moved in, my friend Emma bought us this lovely plant. I don't actually know what the plant is, and I just really, really like it. I just think it goes really nice with the plot. It goes really nice with the pot. I feel like I'm nice here like this. And yeah, I've just been, I just feel like it goes perfectly in here, and it's a nice tall one. I think maybe as it gets bigger, we'll probably have to de-pot it into a bigger pot, but this is perfect for the time being. So yeah, plants, oh God, the worry. Phew. So yeah, plants have been another favourite of mine in the month of July. I keep looking down because I've done a lot of prep, guys, and I've written in here, which is very good. Another thing is an Instagram account. So some of you may know I have an Instagram account called @Lauren&the_Books, and on that Instagram account I talk mainly books things, but I also mention other things that I enjoy. food, going out, pictures of Minnie, pictures of David. But one thing I do is occasionally I will do an outfit of the day post, where I post a picture of what I've been wearing, and where I got those clothes from, and I really enjoy doing those posts, and I got a really good response back to them, which is really fun, because I feel like I'm a bigger girl. I'm like size 16 to 18, and there's not always lots of places online to find what clothes look like on a size 16 to 18 girl. So I really felt that I was doing people a service, as well as sort of showing like that I can wear fun clothes and be happy in my clothes as a size 16 to 18 girl. And not off the back of that, but I've since then found a Instagram account called the Mid-Size Collective, and I will put a link to it down below. And it is an Instagram account dedicated to girls between sort of sizes 10 to 16, but she's recently made it 18, and it sort of shows people, so people who wouldn't necessarily be counted in sort of like fashion shoots because they're much smaller bodies, or plus size because they're much bigger bodies in terms of the sizes. So I found it very useful, and I found a lot of people who are more my size off the back of that Instagram account. And I've just think if you like looking at my outfits on Instagram, then you might also like this account too. But it's just, yeah, and it's just it's got so many good clothes on there at the moment. There's so much like rainbow print and bright colours and just all stuff that I'm completely into on there at the moment. So I just found that very helpful, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. An experience, I've got three more things, an experience, a thing, and another thing. So the experience is, it was my dad's birthday in the middle of July, and the weekend after my dad's birthday, me and my mum and my dad and my sister and my sister's husband and David went for a walk around Ainsford, which is somewhere in Kent, and we just had a lovely walk. They've got we went on about a 5-mile walk, which felt a lot longer than it was, all through some fields, for a bit of a golf course as well, alongside of a river, and it was just a really nice walk and a really nice day. And David and I try to do as much walking as we can, but you don't always get out and about to walk, so it was really nice to get sort of away from anywhere we'd been before, although I had been there before. I'd been there when I was a youngster, and very much enjoyed it, so it was really nice. And then that was just a lovely walk. It was just really nice. I put a few pictures on Instagram about it. It was a very hot day, so we did very well, although we timed it quite well, because every time the sun was out we managed to be in trees, and every time we were out the clouds were over the sun, so we did time it very well. So yeah, that was a lovely day and a nice walk that we had. The last two things, I've got something to show you and then something I don't have. The second to last thing is a cookbook that I've got. It is the Green Roasting Tin, which is vegan and vegetarian one-dish dinners by Rumini Iya. And I was very excited about this. I'd seen that there's another book which isn't a vegetarian version of this, just called The Roasting Tin. And when I saw that a vegetarian version of this, a vegetarian and vegan version of this had come out, I was delighted. So the first half of this book, so the main focus of this book is that they're all things that you can cook in one pot. So whether it be one pot on the hob or one pot in the oven, it's all one pot things, which is amazing. The first half of this book is all vegan, and it sort of split it into, it's very quick. It's split into, I can tell you, look, because here's the vegan page. It's split into quick, medium, slow, and very slow, and then the vegetarian was also set into the same 4 categories. Now I've made 2 things out of this, both of which have been delicious. This the second thing I've made, which is the perfect way to go about it, is this spicy harissa sprouts and broccoli with halloumi, spinach, and couscous. I made that. I didn't actually put couscous in it, I've realised. How funny. Oh no, you have couscous on the... Oh, do you put couscous in it? Anyway, I didn't have any Brussels sprouts because my farm shop didn't have any, so I used cabbage, which was very nice. But the main thing that we loved, and we did this when my friend Emma came round, the crunchy roast potato, artichoke and spring green hash with baked eggs. There's a picture of it. It was bloody lovely. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to cooking quite a lot out here. Let's just take a flick and just see which is the next thing that comes up, which is exciting. Herby roast peppers stuffed with artichokes, olives and feta. That does look nice. So yeah, I just feel like this is a really great book for vegetarians and vegans, and just one pot cooking is just amazing, especially when you get home from work, just to be able to do that. So yeah, really recommend this and think it's really nice. I've made 2 things, both were delicious. And then the last thing is that as I said earlier, we had friends round yesterday, and the group of friends that came round are my friends from school, Ryan and his girlfriend Amy, and Alex and his wife Kate and their little baby, and they came round, and we very much enjoy playing card games and board games and things together. We always end up doing that, and quite often when we buy each other birthday presents or Christmas presents, there's always some sort of like board game or card game related item in there. And yesterday they brought with them, Alex brought with him a game called Flux, which I hadn't played before, and it's a card game which has different rules for every time you play it, and there's rule cards, and for me to explain it, it's going to sound so confusing, and I was confused as we were playing it, but it was really enjoyable, and it's really fresh and really new. You can play sort of 2 to 5 players, and you really have to stay very much absorbed in the game, which I'm very much a fan of. Sometimes when we play Mapomenos, my sister will be on her phone and I will say, no Charlotte, get off your phone. But this one you have to stay very much involved because there's so many rules, and then like the next card could be like, there are no rules, so then there's no rules all of a sudden, and it's just a really good enjoyable version, enjoyable card game, and they've got so many different versions of it, including, guys, say it quietly, a Christmas version. So I think I'm going to get myself the Christmas version nearer to Christmas. I actually feel like I might even want to buy another version of it because I just enjoyed it so much, and I've been thinking about it a lot today. But yeah, a card game called Flux that I really enjoyed. Another game that Ryan and Amy bought with them was Bears versus Babies, which was fine. It wasn't I think I just enjoyed Flux so much. I didn't enjoy Bears versus Babies as much, but Flux very good. Bears versus Babies also good, but a bit bizarre. So those are my favourite things from the month of July. What have you guys been up to in July? Have you enjoyed things? Tell me what you've been up to, and let's hope for, I mean, I know people do like the hot weather, but David and I just don't, so let's hope for a significantly cooler August, and then by the time September comes around, that's almost autumn. I'll be delighted. I'll be thinking about Christmas. Lovely stuff. And I will see you all again soon for another BookTube video. Goodbye.